Hello gentlemen, I recently re-uploaded the work video and I took a listen to it. The original was posted in roughly August of 2021, right before I left that job. I remember going into work the next day and I was sweating bullets. I walked into work and I slipped in my own puddle of sweat. I slid, I slew, I tobogganed. So it was definitely something straight out of my heart and I stand by what I said. Nonetheless, I think the story deserves closure. But before that, let's get into a few of my favorite stories from that place. So, I was never fond of actually doing my job. I'm a huge procrastinator and I procrastinate proudly. You may consider me scummy for this, and for that, I consider nothing. I simply do not care. I don't have the energy. I procrastinate caring about your opinion on me. Anyways, it was a bit of a slow day and I was ringing up a customer. This guy puts his groceries on the counter. He does the one thing you don't do. He puts his eggs first. For those of you wondering, when you place your items on the conveyor belt, you gotta place your heavy items first and then go towards the light items. So the conveyor belt rolls towards me and the items were so compacted that before he could grab his eggs, so the egg spilled all over the register. Nice. So I shut down my lane and apologized to the customer. You may be like, but it wasn't your fault. To that I allow you into a little trade secret of the world. Ready? Shut the hell up and then go ahead and put your tail between your legs. It's a retail job. You're always wrong. So I finished his order and grabbed him some new eggs. But then sat that evil dozen of eggs just staring at me from my register. Since my register was already closed, I head to my manager and go, "Hey, Big D." She says fine and I head on my way. I head to that decrepit back room with the eggs. I see 5 children rotting in the corner, but they are not relevant at the minute. I go towards that little sink in the wall and open the egg batch. I start smashing the rest of the non-broken eggs in that sink. Bang! 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 It was a ton of fun and definitely a peak of my retail career. You're probably wondering why I would waste pretty much 10 good eggs. The reason being is that we simply can't sell them once they open, so we're tasked with getting rid of them. Should I have done it there? Debatable, but the point is the eggs were destroyed and life is good. So back to what I said, whenever I could, I would literally do anything to not do my actual job. I didn't hate what I did, but I don't have the mental capacity to stand in the same spot for too long. I like procrastinating is my point. And that segues us into our second story. So I was on returns. Returns is exactly what it sounds like. Returns is when you return the items that the customers don't want. We had this big cart we used to put all the dry returns in. Basically anything that was dry was stuff that was turned off by our staff, so I was assigned to do dry returns. I take the cart and start heading down the aisles. You may think that doing returns is easy. Fair, but wrong. It's one thing if it's a convenience store with maybe 1,000 items max, but this is a grocery store with at least 10,000. Even if you know where items are, you have to get on your ass on the ground and start looking for some stuff. Plus, I'm legit like half blind, so I can't see shit. Anyways, eventually after taking 3 hours to do returns, I finish. I'm still bored and find this older woman. I whistle at this cougar and go, "God damn, I'll call you Gatsby the way I want to open you up." She looks at me and goes, "My husband was looking for some ice cream," and I proceed to yell vulgar slang. After that, I help her find all the items on her little list. It's really just a fun gesture. I ended up sticking with this woman for a whole hour and helped her pick out groceries. She told me stories of her own life and her husband. It was something that was intended to be like a 5-minute task, but I got carried away. The best part too was that she gave me a compliment to my manager. It was super nice and I love old people for that. So I ended up feeling like I did a good thing and I got an hour off my day, so win-win. Oh, literally anyone who has ever touched a register can relate to this next one. You'll see the typical mom and dad come in and get their groceries. It's not that interesting, but checkout surely is. I don't know if there's some hive mind type bullshit going on between old dads, but the fact of the matter is that when a dad is checking out, they have one of 4 lines. The first one is always when they bag their own stuff. It's just like the old days, honey. Second one is when an item is missing his price tag. It must be free then. Third one is working hard or hardly working. Although I use this one a lot, admittedly. And the best one by far definitely has to be when they give me a $100 bill and I have to check it and they go, "Just made it this morning, haha." To be honest, as much as I take the piss with these customers, they get me through the day. They're fun. Also, before I started working there, checkout lanes 1 through 3 were 10 items or less, and I kind of had a personal thing for working on register 1 because it was easiest. So I kid you not when I say that every customer would ask me, 10 items or less? When they came up to me. It's not like the sign was there anymore either. They would just ask. I'm also not complaining about this because smaller orders means I can get more done and do nothing longer, so we're winning. Anyways, as much as I complained about the job, I really did love it for a while. The customers were mostly good, the store was nice, and generally it was just a fun experience. I think it really helped me build up my confidence and social ability, and honestly, I really just enjoyed working there. Until I didn't. I've complained about my managers and frankly most of them were completely fine. It was just one manager in particular who was really not doing it for me. So I had considered my options and had just decided that I was going to possibly leave the place. It wasn't just a big D, but also because the summer was ending. So I'm pretty old fashioned and I wrote my 2 weeks resignation notice on paper. I kept it in my pocket for the day and wasn't even going to give it in, but it was something that Big D said to me. It was something really snotty. If I'm not mistaken, it was pretty much, I don't know how you can call yourself a real cashier when you can't even cash change. I mean, fair, but rude as hell. I think that statement in itself was enough to push me to resign. I took my letter, handed it off to my manager, and she gave it to Human Resources. About 2 days before I left, I got called into the Human Resources office. This lady, we'll call her Big K, great lady, talks to me about how she was, distraught that I was quitting. She was on vacation and came back to my letter to be astonished. I had personally upset her. She then proceeded to ask if it was another member of staff, and I wasn't gonna snitch, obviously. I mean, it's one thing to quit, but I wasn't gonna be petty about it. At the end of the day, Big D was just doing her job, and I can't handle criticism well. I mean, she should have been a little less arrogant about it, but the point stands. So Big K bugged me about it, but never really got a word from me. Keep in mind that Human Resources really liked me because I took every shift pretty much. Any day of the week I'd be there. Sunday through Saturday, I'd cover for managers, coworkers, etc. I really made the effort to be there and make money. Plus, I rode a scooter to work. I rode a mile every day just to get there, so it was definitely an experience to remember. A couple weeks passed though. I remember grabbing my last check, which is about a week after I quit. My checks are in person, I usually cash them out. This time, however, I asked for my money, yet they seem to have had none. I said, "You have none? Where is it?" The girl's like, "Yeah, we ran out." And I'm like, go get more. It was just a horrible experience all around. I think what made it worse is there was literally cold hard cash in the drawer next to hers. She just didn't want to grab it. No hate though, she was fun. Anyways, don't let this dissuade you from getting a job like this. These jobs aren't bad, there's just bad people. You'll obviously get bad customers once in a while, but you just gotta be kind with them. Push through and remember that at the end of the day, they'll feel bad about it. You can also make a lot of memories in this job. It's not like I'm ever gonna forget the whole arsenal of personalities that came from that store. So that's it. It's the end of the work series. With that said, goodbye, gentlemen.